The average cost of turnover is 33% of an employee's salary. That adds up. I'm Jackie Roby, founder and CEO of Inspire Journey Consulting, and I want to help you invest in retention. Did you know that the most common mental health condition in the US in 2021 was anxiety? This is something that can be managed proactively, because when we don't do that, when we let anxiety build up, when we don't have the tools, it leads to burnout. It contributed to the Great Resignation. It impacts all of the relationships that we have, the work that we do, how we behave. It absolutely contributes to joy or lack thereof. Here's how I can help. Let's do one-on-one coaching with your team. It operates very simply. It's a 3-month process. Everybody gets an hour to themselves every week for 12 weeks. Why would you invest in this way? Well, think about professional development. We're always doing things like that. But oftentimes, as we're reviewing sales processes or service operations issues or what have you, all of those trainings, they're so great and they're so important for our skills. But it doesn't impact who we are and how we behave. And that is the key piece that's missing. See, we've spent so long letting the line between business and personal be strict. And really, who we are shows up everywhere that we go, including business. So coaching looks like having somebody as a thought partner. It is allowing your leaders, your employees, your team members, whomever you choose to receive this, to have someone work through issues with them, help them get unstuck so that they can come back into their day and be their best and brightest. We can create change this way. And when you invest in retention, you'll have long-term cost savings. Post-pandemic, the hospitality industry had an 85% turnover rate, which was higher than pre-pandemic. The travel industry as a whole pre-pandemic had a turnover rate of 31%, which was 3 times higher than what was considered healthy in all other industries. We're spending a lot of money in the wrong places. So why travel? Well, I've spent my career there, 20 years in the travel industry, in hospitality, in travel, as a supplier and a buyer, in sales and marketing. And guess what? I burned out. I had anxiety. I had panic. And I had no support. Times have changed. And you have an opportunity to impact your people in a long-lasting way. And aren't you a little bit too busy to constantly be recruiting and training? Come on. Let me support you and your people. The next question is usually, what is this going to cost me? I will tell you, it costs you $5,000 per person. That is 12 hours worth of one-on-one coaching. And that is an investment in your team. If this is something that's not in your budget right now, maybe we can look at something a little different. For example, what about a training, a workshop? We can do things that are virtual or in person. I'm an international speaker, spoken at multiple travel shows, and also virtual conferences. Let's talk about that too. It's really important to understand the process. As I mentioned before, with coaching, I'm a thought partner. But what I'm also doing is I am providing your people with mental wellness practices that they can implement at any time. Ones that make sense for the individual. Because it's not as simple as just handing out a sheet of paper and follow the directions. It has to fit the person. We also work on their human design. Now, many of us are familiar with Myers-Briggs, Enneagrams, predictive index, the bank. There are so many different tools that have been utilized throughout the years, and they're all wonderful. What happens is that as we grow and change, where we sit within those also changes. Whereas human design stays the same. It is a constant. And while life changes, who you are at your core maintains. So it's incredible insight for the employee as well as their leaders. I can tell you that my clients who utilize human design now have this amazing sense of self. Leaders have been able to coach in a more impactful way without having to be a coach like myself, but just given that special insight into the person. I've also been able to work with many clients on hiring practices based on human design, as well as curating training for the individual that still fits into the synergy of the whole. There's some amazing work to be done with this. If we're looking at speaking in workshops, these can be catered to what your needs are. They are all going to have a basis of mental wellness because that is important. That is what I am bringing. That is different from what you've seen before. And what is so valuable to each individual, because all of you, for who you are as people, as individuals, are important and deserve to be valued. The last thing that I want to take note of is how important it is to amplify the voices of marginalized people and to provide safe spaces for them to speak. And that is part of what I do and what Inspire Journey Consulting is all about. If you're ready to create positive change for your cultural wellness, go into the notes, schedule a time to talk. You'll also find some more details in there. I'm here for you. Travel has my heart, and I want to make us stronger.